The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Christ. You may be seated.
Thank you.
3 or 4 times a year, I get the same phone call from several of our local funeral homes. An Episcopalian moved down here from up north somewhere to escape the snow or to live closer to family. They got here, but they never plugged into a parish. They died. And now their family wants them to have an Episcopal funeral, and will I officiate? I give the same answer that I give any of our non-Messiah neighbors who call asking us to baptize their baby or officiate their wedding, which is yes. Yes, because there are several things that we Anglican clergy do. We dress funny and we bless things, and we baptize, marry, and bury people. Or, as we clergy put it, we hatch, match, and dispatch. Well, back to the call from the funeral home. They give me the number for somebody in the family. I call to try to get with them to plan the funeral. And when we get together, I always ask the same question. Are there any particular Bible verses or stories or any music you want to include? And the answer almost always is, I don't know. They never said. Now, I offer them some options, and if they can't think of anything specific, they usually go with the 23rd Psalm, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want," and we sing "Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound," both of which are sweet comfort for people who are in mourning. And if they have no explicit request for the liturgy, that's not a problem, because we Anglicans have been doing weddings and funerals very well for over 500 years. We know how to honor the dead and comfort the grieving as we worship God. But we also like to make the burial liturgy as personal as possible. And the best way to do that is for each of us to plan our own funeral. Jesus did. We heard it today as he said about Mary anointing his feet with perfume and wiping them with her hair. She did this to prepare my body for burial. Jesus told his followers several times very plainly, I'm going to die. Say that with me. I'm going to die. Jesus knew his time was near, and Mary's gift was part of his funeral arrangements. He planned his, let's plan ours. Now the good news is you don't have to plan it from scratch. We have a tested and proven liturgy, and all you have to do is make a few decisions and fill in a couple of blanks. The rest comes right out of the Book of Common Prayer, which offers us 500 years of liturgical and sacramental experience and excellence and expertise. So in your bulletin, in the sermon notes page, there's a half page there that has a quick outline of what you get to pick. Also in the bulletin is a whole page sheet for you to write my request for my funeral service. Put this aside for the moment. We'll come back to that. But we're going to look at the half-page one first, okay? Because it lists the elements that you get to choose. And as we go down the list, I encourage you to circle what you think you'd like and jot down your initial thoughts and preferences. This is kind of your worksheet. This is not the final exam, okay? And your choices are, circle the one you prefer, write one, which is what we do at 8 o'clock, very traditional, or write two, which is what we do now. Now, those folks at 11 o'clock and 7 o'clock are going to circle right to, and we're going to adjust for them. Bible lessons. Are there any particular lessons or psalms or stories you'd like? Now, on the whole page sheet, there is a list of suggestions, but those are only suggestions. You may choose any Bible bits you like. Joe Wolf this past week wanted Proverbs chapter 3, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not into your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. That was his favorite Bible verse. I've never had anybody ask that for their funeral, but I was glad to include that. So if a Bible passage pops up into your mind, jot it down. Is there any particular music you would like? They can be songs or hymns, and they don't have to come out of the hymnal. Joe had 2 from the hymnal and 2 from outside it. We sang "It Is Well With My Soul," which is not in the hymnal, and we walked out to a New Orleans version of "When the Saints Go Marching In." We will include whatever music you choose, though if it's about partying or rainbows or doing it my way, we'll do that as part of the prelude instead of the liturgy itself. Do you want a sermon? or not? If not, my feelings aren't hurt because folks are coming to your funeral to honor you and to soak up some comfort, not to hear me preach. If you do want a sermon, who do you want to give it? If it's me, I will focus on whatever Bible lessons that you choose and how you lived them or not. Just kidding, just kidding. Just everybody's a saint at their own funeral. If you'd like someone else to preach, write down their name. Would you like anybody else to speak? Like to share some memories or tell some stories about you? If so, write down their name. Do you want communion or not? Now, don't worry about folks who are unfamiliar with communion or who don't go to church. If communion is important to you and or to your family, let's do it. Because nobody is going to be offended because we have communion. This is a church. They understand we do churchy things. And if it's not meaningful to them, they'll sit in the pew when everybody else comes up to receive. At weddings and funerals, it's not unusual for only about a third of the people to come and receive communion. It's okay. But the folks who do receive it, it's very meaningful to them. And I always give stage directions, and I let folks know that everyone is welcome to receive here. This is not an Episcopal table, it's God's table, and everyone is welcome. Do you have anyone else you'd like to participate, to read a lesson, or serve the wine, or be an usher? Write down their name. Do you have any other requests? Write them down, because the answer to any request is going to be yes. It's your funeral. We'll do what you want. Now, those are the basics that go on the half sheet. Now pull out the whole sheet. Now, I don't expect you to fill this out now. Take this home, think about it, pray about it, talk it over with your family, and when you've made your choices, please make several copies. And if you don't have a copy machine, come to the parish office. We'll make copies for you. We're going to keep one of these on file. You keep one for yourself. Give copies to your family or your friends, so when your time comes and I ask them what they'd like to include in your funeral, they don't go, I don't know, they never said. But if we have a copy, when you die, we will pull it out and let your family know that you've already planned your funeral, and they will breathe a huge sigh of relief to be let off of that hook. Okay, the long form has the usual stuff, your name, your contact information, and your date of birth, which is one of the 2 dates that will be on your funeral bulletin. Now, what do you want done with your body? Cremated or embalmed and buried in a casket or anything else you choose? What would you like to be done with your ashes or your body? If you're cremated, you may be scattered or buried in the Messiah Memorial Garden, which is right behind this wall right here, for free. We will put a plaque on the wall with your birth and your death years for free. If you want to know how much the plaque costs because you want to pay for it, we'll tell you. But nothing that has to do with your death costs anything. The funeral industry will ding you for every item. We love you too much to do that. We charge nothing for any part of your funeral. Not the service, not the use of the building, not the music, not the burial in the memorial garden, not the plaque, not a reception. We love you, and this is what families do for each other. Well, back to the sheet. Do you want Rite 1 or Rite 2? Do you want an opening song or hymn? If so, what? What Bible verses would you like? And there's a list of suggestions. Now, you need to choose at least one Bible verse, and if you want communion, there has to be a lesson from a gospel. So from Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John. But you can do as much or as little as you like. You can do like we do on Sundays and have up to 3 lessons in a psalm. You don't have to pick one from the Old Testament and one from the New. You can have all from the Old, you can have all from the New, you can have all Psalms, you can have all Gospels, as you wish. Do you want a psalm, a hymn, or a song between the lessons? If so, which one? Okay, turn the sheet over. Do you want a sermon or not? And if so, who would you like to give it? And if you want anyone else to speak, list them there at the same place along with their contact information. Do you want communion or not? If not, skip down to the committal. But if you do want communion, do you want any particular music or anyone you'd like to sing or play during it? And list them. Do you have a preference of which Eucharistic prayer? If so, list it. The committal are the last words over your remains. If we are burying you somewhere, that will be at the graveside or wherever we're putting your remains. If someone's going to keep your ashes for a while, and that happens often, we will do this in the church before the end of the liturgy. And then list anybody you'd like to serve in any way in the liturgy. And finally, at the bottom of the page, write down any other requests, like if you want folks to wear a particular color or style of clothing to your funeral, if you have menu requests for the reception, if you'd like folks to give money to a particular cause instead of giving flowers, whatever you like, write it down. Joe Wolf had a University of Florida Gator flag draped over his casket before the liturgy, and I can assure you that was not my idea. But I was glad to fulfill his request, as the Messiah family will be glad to fulfill any of your requests. If you tell us, you got to tell us. And the best way to do that is take that sheet home, think and pray over it, talk over the options with your family, fill it out, and give us a copy. And if you ever change your mind or want to update anything, you're free to come back in and you can cross stuff out and add things, or we can tear that up and fill out a new one. In this season of Lent, the sermons have been about living and dying well. How to live well so that we can die well. Planning your own funeral is an amazingly considerate gift to give your family, and they will love and thank you for doing it. Because someday, each of us is going to die. Say it with me, I'm going to die. And planning your funeral is one way for you to die well.